Am I the a-hole for flipping out after my husband ate my son's food? I 30F have a 13-year-old son named Colby with my ex-husband. Last year, my son desperately wanted to go to Japan because his father currently lives there and my son had been there multiple times for visits during the summer and fell in love with it. He begged me to let him live with his dad for a year, and while it broke my freaking heart and gave me extreme anxiety, I agreed. I couldn't say no. He went there for a year and came back home in August of this year. As many could imagine, Japan has much different cuisines than the US does. While my son wouldn't complain about anything I put in front of him, he did make a few comments about missing Japanese dishes. So I went through a few websites, got a hold of his dad, etc., and I was able to get some of the ingredients and recipes shipped out to me. His favorite one is some type of noodles with a dark brown spicy sauce. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but since it's his favorite, I have his father send me out the noodles and sauce, so my son can prepare it for himself at home, as well as buying him the fresh ingredients needed. Well, me and my husband's daughter 9F asked Colby the day before yesterday if she could have some of his noodles. He said no. He only said no because he made the dish for her before, and she wasted the entire thing because it was too spicy. So she doesn't like it, and therefore he said no and reminded her that she didn't like it. Before my daughter could even respond, my husband pipes up with,
"Give her some, there's no reason why you can't share."
So I stepped in and said, no, and that she's already had it and threw it in the trash and this is his food. He doesn't have to share his food. He just kind of walks off. Well, this morning, my son asked where all of his noodles were. There were 4 packages, my husband says.
"I ate them."
I asked why the F would he do that and he said,
"Because I wanted to."
To me this felt like a big F you because I told him my son didn't have to share his food, so I did lose it. He did this on purpose. I just know it. I told him he was a freaking pig on a power trip, and he should be ashamed of himself for eating my son's food. He says I'm ridiculous and I'm an a-hole for calling him a pig because he's overweight, simply because he was hungry and wanted to eat. Everyone else says I'm an a-hole too. Am I the a-hole for flipping out on him?
Here are the top comments plus Opie's reply. Not the a-hole. Your husband seems to be on a power trip, and I'm thinking there was more than one reason. Your son wanted to live with his father in Japan so much. Yeah, it's just food. However, it's food that was purchased by your son's father and then shipped to him from Japan. It belongs to your son and your son only. He does not have to give it to anyone he doesn't want to, as it's a gift from his father. I really think you need to have a private conversation with your son, away from your husband, and ask him if your husband treats him poorly. When you're not around, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if the answer was yes. Also, eating 4 packages of noodles in one sitting just to dominate your 13-year-old son is both a pig thing to do and extremely immature. It's the equivalent of licking all the cookies. So no one else can have one. OP replied,
I'm pretty sure he would lick all the cookies just so no one else could have one. We were already on the fast track to divorce, honestly.
Not the a-hole. This was 100% a power trip, and you should be on the lookout for other ways he's mistreating your son. I would bet he didn't even eat the noodles, just threw them out. I won't jump to saying divorce him, but you should definitely be taking a long, hard look at your relationship.